And I want to call this message, You and Me, in the sense of intimacy, just you and me without anybody else around. Why is that? Okay, let me start by saying that, as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, Sukkot technically finished yesterday with Hoshana Rabbah. Today is Shmini Atzeret, tomorrow Simchat Torah. It's not, as many people think, the end of Sukkot. It's a totally different and separate holiday. I guess the confusion is also because we always say the three festivals of pilgrimage, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, and we don't mention Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah in the count. And it's not that they are not festival of pilgrimage, it's that people are already there. So that's why we don't count it on that list, and that's why the confusion to think that this is the end of Sukkot, but it's not. The end of Sukkot was yesterday. But there is something even more interesting that you should ask yourself. Okay, you will say, Rabbi, if Shmini Atzeret is a totally different holiday, totally different festival, you tell me, what do we celebrate on Shmini Atzeret? What historical event do we celebrate? Why do I say that? Look, Pesach is the freedom from Egypt. Shavuot, the giving of the Torah. Sukkot, we celebrate the fact that the Israelites lived in shelters. Or some people say God sheltered them when they left Egypt. But what do we celebrate on Shmini Atzeret? It's a very interesting question. And even more, the rabbis also say that each one of the three major festivals, corresponds to one of our forefathers. And the rabbis say that Pesach corresponds to Abraham. Why is that? If you go read the story of Abraham, there is a very interesting passage. It's very interesting. When the angels came to visit Abraham and Sarah, Abraham said to Sarah, hurry, take flour, mix it with water, and make bread for my guests. Okay? And the rabbis noticed something very interesting. He said, why the words? Why hurry up? Why that specific command was given to Sarah and not to one of the servants? And the rabbi said, because that was Pesach time. And you know what happened when you mix water and flour, you have to cook it right away, otherwise start fermenting. And went to Sarah because the kashrut of Pesach is so difficult that you won't delegate that in anybody. He told Sarah, of course she would say, but Rabbi, come on. Pesach didn't happen until many centuries after. Well, but this is in the words of the Midrash that found a beautiful connection between Abraham and Pesach. So said, Abraham connected to Pesach. Then Yitzchak connected to Shavuot. Why is that? Shavuot, the giving of the Torah. And remember the image that the Torah brings about the revelation with the sound of the shofar. And then we remember at the time of the Akedat Yitzchak, when Abraham almost sacrificed Isaac, eventually Abraham, instead of sacrificing Isaac, noticed an animal with the horn wrapped in a bush. The rabbi says, the horn of the shofar. And that connects us to Shavuot. And eventually Sukkot is even easier to connect to Yaakov, to our patriarch Jacob. Because there is an episode of the life of Jacob that the Torah said that he went to a place that it was called actually Sukkot, right? So Abraham, Pesach, Isaac, Shavuot, Jacob, Sukkot. So here we have two things. Number one, I mentioned Shmini Atzeret, no connection to any historical event. And also, Shmini Atzeret, no connection with one of the patriarchs. Is that true? Well, this is where it starts getting even more interesting, because the rabbis say that actually the one connected, Shmini Atzeret, is Yosef. Yes, Yosef, Jacob's son. And you know that in certain aspects of rabbinic tradition, Joseph is one of our patriarchs. That eventually, because he didn't want to become one of the tribes of Israel, instead he passed that on into his children. He kind of got lost in between. But it doesn't mean that he's not considered by rabbinic tradition one of our patriarchs. He said, Yosef is the one connected to Shmini Atzeret. How so? Listen to this, because this is fascinating. The rabbi said it has all to do when Joseph revealed himself to his brothers in Egypt. Remember, his brothers didn't recognize him. Eventually, it was the time for Joseph, who looked like an Egyptian, to remove his weird hat and makeup and to say to his brothers, it's me. Before Joseph said that, it's me, I'm Joseph, he said, I want everyone out. I don't want anybody around me except my brothers. And when that happened, he cried and said, it's me, it's Joseph. So he was sure that he was alone with his dear brothers at that time. And how is that connected to Shmini Atzeret? And the rabbis explained that for a whole week on Sukkot, we sacrificed 70 bulls. In the sense that, the first day of Sukkot, we sacrificed 13. Second day, 12. And then 11. So far until the last day of Sukkot, we sacrificed 6. And why? And the rabbis explained, that was a big deal at an international level. People from all over the Middle East will come to the land of Israel for that time, because Israel was sacrificing all these bulls on their behalf. We already had our high holidays, our Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. God forgave us. But now Sukkot, it was also a time where we would pray for other nations. Dignitaries, important people will all come to the land of Israel, and it will be a big celebration for a week. Nothing wrong with that. But then eventually, when that was over, comes Shmini Atzeret, a time where everybody went back to their own nations. And now God said to us, stay for one more day, just you and me. Nothing fancy. We don't need 70 bulls. Read the Torah, it's only one animal that gets sacrificed. And you will say, but God, what do you want me to stay for one more day? What's there to celebrate? Is there any historical event? No. It's just something to be alone after this big party, just you and me in an intimate setting. Do you need a reason to be with me? Says God. Can we just spend some time together? Do we have to celebrate something? No. I want you to stay with me. And after everybody left, God said, it's me. I'm here. The same way that Joseph said, it's me, when everybody else left. And that's why Shmini Atzeret is connected to the life of Joseph. But I was realizing that this is very interesting and becomes even more important right before Yizkor, when it's a time of intimacy. Sometimes we have too many things in our head going around, and too many distractions. And because of that, we cannot spend this quality time with the memory of our loved ones. So I was wondering, in this Shmini Atzeret, we can also say, to some extent, like Joseph, everybody out. All the distractions, get away. I want to spend some quality time with my loved ones. And at that time, we can say to them, it's me. And at that time, they can say to us, it's me. I'm here for you, the same way that you are here committed with my memory. It's a beautiful thing that we can learn from Shmini Atzeret, that sometimes we don't really need a reason to be together with our loved ones. But unfortunately, because the way the world works, we do need a reason. Otherwise, we will never stop. And today, we have the opportunity to take that break and to reconnect with their memories. I'm wondering if this old tradition that people who are not observing Yizkor used to leave the synagogue is not a bad thing after all. Because otherwise, they may be a distraction for people who are really here to cry and to remember the loved ones. So I remember when I was growing up, rabbis getting really angry at everybody walking away from Yizkor when the time came during Yom Kippur. I don't know if you ever went through that. Rabbis yelling from the bima. And I thought, maybe these people shouldn't learn, they shouldn't live in synagogue. But then I realized, what are they going to do while other people are remembering? Maybe there will be a distraction. So in these days that we don't have any distractions, we are all here to remember. Let's connect to the souls and the memories of our loved ones. And just like Joseph, just like God said to us in Shmini Atzeret, hey, I'm here. Just you and me. And maybe we can even listen to their voices saying to us, hey, I'm here. And for a few minutes, it's going to be just you and me.